Hello all the peoples out there on YouTube, this is me, Looking3, and we are here with hopefully a new series that I am going to really enjoy. For those of you who don't know what this game is, this is Darkest Dungeon, and it is it's a dungeon crawler game. You have a party of different classes, and you go through dungeons to defeat monsters and bosses and collect shit. This actually is not my first playthrough. This is not a blind playthrough. I saw this game for a little bit, saw some stuff about it, then I decided to play it. I basically more or less finished an quote unquote easy mode of the game where I don't have it set to the default settings. Oh, big whoop. Oh, ho, ho, ha, ha. I'm sorry. But, it was basically my first time through. I didn't want to get absolutely wrecked. And even on the easier difficulties, you can still get easily wrecked. So this isn't an easy game per se in any case. But it's a game I really like. Obviously I like Dungeon I really do like what's it called, roguelite games, like Binding of Isaac and stuff like that. But I mean, I've done Isaac for so long and everything, and I've even recorded a little bit of Isaac. I've basically got a little bit of tired of Isaac for now, that I actually went through some other games and I eventually came to this. So just to move on, because I'm taking a bit of a while, let's just move on and we're gonna do this.
Brigands have run up these lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
I turned on the subtitles. I thought it'd be nice for the video. I'm not sure, but they're there, and obviously you can hear him. But I really like, if anything, just to say, I really do like the narrator in this game. A lot of people really like the narrator in the game. I actually might just end up turning off the subtitles. I don't know. I wanted to do things a little bit different for the YouTube stuffs. These are curios. I turned off the tutorial. This is like the intro level, and it normally give you tutorials. This is a curio right here, the thing I kind of touched. This is on the map. You can see that as you travel, there's these sections as you travel, and then rooms. Each individual room can have stuff in it: monsters, curios, treasures, things like that. What I just used though was kind of a walking curio. I guess you could say. I mean, you can have some of the room curios, but it's a lot rarer to have some of the room curios in the as you're just walking. So yeah, also, I mean, the way the combat in this game works is you can miss, you can dodge stuff, there are statuses, bleeds, poisonings, debuffs, movements, so it's really in-depth, it really is, and also another mechanic I'll talk about when it pops up, but I want to go back to the curios. The curio thing is, they're just like special objects you can find as you walk along. Some of them require special things to be used. Some don't. Some are pure negatives. Some are pure positives.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
The two classes you start off with are a Crusader and a Highwayman. Crusader's like, well, I mean, if you've played if you play whatchamacallit, goddammit. if you play RPGs, he's like a paladin, a knight, things like that. Pretty bulky with some minor heals, and some kind of an okayish attacks. Just to show you that because this is always trapped, I'm pretty sure, and I don't think there's anything special you can do with it. Yeah, it's always trapped. You see, so this would be like a treasure chest in a room. In a room, you can only get like specialty treasure chests in a room. That you could normally use like a key. If you see like a lock on it, it would have you need a key. You can get keys and other stuff. I'll show you as I go along. These are there's also items you collect for the town, which we're gonna go to right now. The reason why I decided to do this now is because a while ago the oh shoot, I keep forgetting. Oh no, it's recording the game. I shouldn't show that. But the oh crap, I lost my place. Well, we're going back to town. This is a town. It's basically like not really your hub world. It's a place where you do everything that isn't fighting.
This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now.
Here in the stagecoach, you recruit new people, and you
women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses.
You can upgrade it with these things you collect at the bottom.
Way to us now that the road is clear.
Again, I like the subtitles, but they are kind of in the way. But either way, I only have to say this once. You collect things as you travel and are given rewards at the end of missions. You can collect crests, steeds, portraits, bust. And as I was saying, now I remember what I was saying. The reason why I decided to do this now is because they just did a character update for the game, as well as some other tweaks and balances. Kind of recently, like a couple weeks ago, it was the can't even remember what the class is called, like curio person, something like that. Someone who collects minor trinkets and helps you get money. It's a farming class.
A sister of battle.
This is the stagecoach, is where you go and get new people for your party. You can have a max. You can see their status effects, their levels. You can sort them. But there's never particularly a reason to sort them. You basically sort them the way you want them to stay. The graveyard is nothing, tells you who died. This kind of tells you your progress.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Your treasure chest is trinket inventory, like the special things you find as you travel around. Activity log is a summary of your recent battles and the status of your characters. I mean, the status of your characters if they're doing something, like if they're going to one of these buildings, if they died, if they went to one of these buildings and then decided to just fuck off and run around and do something else. This is nothing. This is a glossary. It gives you like some details and stuff. I mean, I basically know all of that already. And then the pause menu.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
Give me 1 second, people. Sorry. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm gonna pause it and then come back real quick. Okay, so sorry about that, YouTube peoples, and we're gonna go through this as fast as we can because, as it is, that the other part of this video is gonna be 10 minutes, and I start to put these two together and go through at least the beginning dungeon. So, just to say really quick though, before we leave the town, because I'm probably gonna end the video soon, right after I finish this beginning dungeon. The update came through. It's they added the new new curio class or whatever the heck it's called, and they added this heirloom trading system, which is pretty nice considering the way the stuff is worked out. I don't want to get into that too much right now. I just wanted to say that, this was also part of the update, which I really liked, and then there were some balances and tweaks and stuff. So let's just get our team into the into that. Oh, also too, if you do certain combinations, I love this. If you do certain combinations of characters, you might get like a little name of your team. So also too, these are the rewards you get. You get a trinket, some kind of heirloom, and whatchamacallit, and some money. This tells you the requirements of the mission, this one's explore 90% of the rooms. That basically means just go through most of the rooms. You don't necessarily have to fight and kill everything. You just got to make sure that those rooms are clear, otherwise you don't get credit for that room.
Cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Still really like the narrator. He just kind of doesn't know when to shut up. Right here, I'm sorry if I'm going a little fast. It's just I didn't want this beginning video to be too long. It's really just like an introduction, just so I can maybe get things started off. Because this is going to be like my hard mode run for the YouTubes. So you start short missions. Usually just need about 8 torches. Some people like to go torchless, which is another thing I might talk about later. I like to buy about 10 food. You only need, if you want to go like bare minimum food, it's usually about the multiples and the special conditions, which you might talk about later, of like 2, at least for a short mission. You might have to eat twice, because as you're traveling, your people do need to eat. And probably 2 of the most important things you can buy, other than outside of the necessity of food and torches to make sure you don't die or go crazy, the 2 probably most key items for normal dungeons is skeleton keys and shovels, because there are wall or ceiling collapses that get in the way of your path, and if you try to get through those things without shovels, your whole team starts to get really stressed out, takes damage. It's terrible. Shovels are really important. And skeleton keys, if you really want to maximize how much gold, heirlooms, and possible secret things you might find, which I'll talk about when we find one. That's also really important to have at least 1 saved for that, because it is really, really good. So yeah, you always start in the ruins. Is like everything's set in stone until you start a little bit away. Now, when I first played this game, even on the easy mode, I'll say this, and wait, well, the narrator's about to talk. Oh, for once he didn't talk. Normally he does. One thing I will say about the early game, even on the easy mode, well, again, I say easy mode, air quotations, always remember the air quotations, because you can still get messed up.
Trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
When it comes to the early game for this game, you're weak and you're not really able to do anything. There's also crits in this game. When you work on your stats, you see you got protections, which mitigate damage, your speed, how fast you go, and because there is a turn order based on speed, accuracy, how well you can hit things, I apparently have minus crit on her, but that doesn't matter because she is a healer. Oh boy. Does this do damage? I'm pretty sure this doesn't do damage. Yeah, it doesn't do damage. It at least stuns him, so I don't have to worry about him.
Be gone, fiend.
Oh, also too, part of the thing in the hard part of the hard mode is these things called corpses. When you kill creatures, they have a chance to drop a corpse. However, they do not drop corpses if they died due to bleeds or blights, poisonings. They're guaranteed to not leave a corpse if they don't die from those. Oh, see here, these things. You see this? This is terrible. If you did not have shovels for this bar at the bottom would start filling up, and you do not want this bar to start filling up because it just means bad things for your team and the individual person as a whole. Ugh, I don't like how he started with these. I don't remember if this is... No, it's not, because I know this isn't like the thing she's guaranteed to start with. That is 4, so I gotta hit him for 3. Oh, I killed him. I can guarantee, like, take out 1. Yeah.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Oh, also too, when you're fighting creatures, when you're hovering over them with an attack, you can see what it'll do to them. Like this doesn't do any damage, but it tells you how well you can hit them, your chance of critting them, and of course their stats.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Yeah, but I am sorry that I guess I was rushing, and I just didn't want this thing to be particularly long, and then being interrupted kind of didn't help with that. I mean, it was important, so, well, maybe not. It's not that important, but it was, what you call it. So now to look at. Oh wow. Okay, well, this guy's gonna have to get dismissed when I get another one. Because this is these are quirks, by the way, and this is literally one of the worst quirks you can get in the game. It's not something that hurts his stats. It's not something that makes him weaker in a sense, but it is something that is really, really annoying to have on your team. Anyone, and I'll say this: if you have anyone on your team that has this quirk, either if you have enough money, get rid of it. If you really don't want to lose a person, and you've invested like time and resources into him or her, then get rid of it. But if you haven't, and like he's like level 1 like this guy, get rid of him. They are not worth keeping. They will hurt you so much in the early game. And like the first, obviously like the my main file isn't like my first attempt at that. It is like my 4th or 5th one trying to get through without getting absolutely destroyed in the game. And just hit him because I can kind of guarantee he'll die next turn. Because you need this money bad. You need the money bad on these first dungeons, the entirety of the early game. You need it by the way, I really... Oh, he has quick refixes to start with. That's actually pretty nice. You normally don't have to worry about the positive ones particularly too much. It's really the negative ones that are, like, the only thing that matters.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is.
Because like I had said before, the early game in this is
so clearly in
I could,
or is it merely
you know,
of the light?
No, because I'm gonna get rid of him. Do this because I want her to get stress healed. Because fuck this guy. I want to get rid of him so much. I hate having to deal with that quirk. The early game is so tedious because if you are not getting enough money while still trying to keep your people in, you know, battle ready conditions, it's so bad. It's so bad because it's really hard to mitigate stress early. Oh my goodness.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
He took a lot of stuff right there. You see, that's why that's terrible. That was 10 food. I don't necessarily need the food, but for everything you don't use that isn't a specialty item, for everything you don't use that you take out of the dungeon, at the end, you get money back. And that was basically free money. And on top of basically doubling my own money.
We require only the strength to follow it.
Well, what I was trying to say before that atrocity happened was it's really hard to mitigate stress early because there's only one truly efficient anti-stress class in the game. But there are many stress-inducing enemies in the game. This guy is probably one of the ones you'll see in the earliest parts.
Slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
And he doesn't do too much stress as compared to some of the other earlier ones. But still, it really does stack up really fast. And giving him some speed because he's too slow.
Executed with impunity.
So I mean, you have a really high risk of going crazy. When you reach 100 stress, your character will go crazy, and if they do go crazy, they're like in a weakened state where they can hurt themselves, stress out other partners, stress themselves out, make themselves bleed, and it's terrible. It really is terrible.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Also, too, if you're ever in a chest and the quest ends, always hit continue adventuring because that is the way you can get the chest. You do not get the chest if you leave. If you leave without opening it, even though you're in the room. And I did that a good number of times when I first started playing. I think I came out of that pretty good. As long as no one gets the disease. If there is a guy that I can swap out and
Trouble
get rid of
yourself
this
not
one,
with the cost
I
of
will.
this crusade.
Let's
Its
see.
noble end affords you broad
Okay, there's
tolerance in
not,
your
but
choice
there
of
is
moves.
some new peoples.
Great heroes can be found even here, in the mud and rain.
Oh, just to say, crests are literally the most used heirloom in the whole game. You need hundreds and hundreds of them because heirlooms are crests are used in tandem with a number of these other places. So and this one, which comes in later, you don't have that now. This is like the last thing you unlock in the town. It's really expensive for crests. So if you can burn through these if you want. Actually, you really should just make sure you should always have like low of these. That means you're upgrading things, like upgrading crucial stuff. And we'll get to upgrading stuff as time goes on, and yada yada yada.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews
And I'll
set
talk about
straight.
these places more in detail in the
abbey
next
closed
episode,
to the
probably.
faithful. Fresh kegs, cards,
If you
and
can,
curtained rooms
try to save as many
promise
crests
solace to the weary
as you
and
could
broken alike.
when you're out exploring and doing stuff in the dungeons. If they offer you crests and you only have enough room for either a crest or, like, say, a deed or a portrait, unless you are literally one or two deeds, portraits, busts away from upgrading something you really want, go for the crest. You will not be disappointed, especially now that they have this trading system. Crests just have so much value, and they are usually a bit more abundant than these other ones. Anyways, we'll talk about them more in detail. This was the first dungeon, and hopefully the first start of the episode, so I will see you guys next time. Hopefully this thing can go on and I can have a bit more fun with it. Maybe I'll even record the episode before I leave. I just didn't want this beginning one to be too long, or to be winded, because it would be the first one, and I still have to edit it and put these two pieces together because I had to pause. As you can see, it's called the YouTube Estate because I just wanted to title this a YouTube file. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time in the Dankness Dungeon. Bye-bye.